Once again, good Freedom Friday. We are back to you to talk about some things we can celebrate today. So, first off on the list, as you may or may not be aware of, New Jersey and Virginia are not typically GOP, Republican, conservative, Tea Party friendly states. New Jersey is really one of the bastions of modern day progressive liberalism, and yet a man by the name of Ed Burr, B-U-R-R, just won a state election in New Jersey. Ed Burr happens to be a Republican. He happens to be a truck driver, and he happens to have ran on a budget of about 2 Benjamins. Anyone. If that doesn't tell you the direction that the Democrats are going is absolutely self-destruct, then I've got another story for you. So if you're paying attention to the Virginia governor election, Virginia again, not a red state, not a purple state, solidly blue state. Biden won the electorate of that state by about a 10-point margin a year ago. You've got a contender coming in by the name of Glenn Youngkin, who knocks that one out of the park by about, I believe it was about an 8 to 10 point spread. He's also a Republican and conservative, and the Democrats are absolutely losing their ever-loving minds over this. They cannot figure it out. They're scratching their heads, and you've got the progressives saying, well, maybe it's perhaps because we're not far left enough. Well, I hope they go by that, and I hope they continue to push far left, because the midterms are shaping up to be an absolute bloodbath for liberal Democrats next year. There's going to be some serious blowback by voters who are tired of the nonsense. They're tired of the COVID nonsense. They're tired of crony capitalism, where the government picks winners and losers in corporate and business America. They're tired of being told what to do. They're being tired of being told what to inject into their bodies, and they've had an absolute gutful of it, to put it in a family friendly manner. Just those 2 elections in hard left blue states are an indicator of the forecast of next November when the midterms hit, and there's a lot of open seats. It's going to be absolutely nuts, and you're going to see some serious backlash from average Joe, blue collar America. I mean, they're tired of this. They're tired of being talked down to. They're tired of all the nonsense. They can see through the charade now. And I don't think the Democrats get it. They're in full-on panic mode, but I do not for 1 second think that they understand why. I think they are completely lost on what the average American thinks, who the average American is, who the average blue-collar family person is. They're completely lost. They've let the progressive squad of AOC and Omar and all the rest hijack the party, take the reins of the party, run far left, and they are so out of touch that they can't comprehend how this is going wrong. So I hope they keep running with what they're doing, because they're doing more damage than the Republicans could ever do. But the problem with the Republicans is Republicans in today's political climate want to fight nice. Well, you can't do that anymore. You cannot fight nice. You know, with Trump over his presidency, you hear a lot of Republicans, a lot of conservatives say, well, Trump's a little bit of a hardliner, and he's a little bit crass in his speech, and he was. But any Republican that is doing their job, they're going to get the same stuff. You listen to what the pundits in CNN and the political talking heads are all saying, This is white Trumpism that's taking over these elections. They just can't grasp it. They can't get over themselves that this is something that they have no handle on. They do not understand it. They think that the way to winning elections and the way to continuing on is by bashing and telling, especially conservative white male America, that we all need to be ashamed of who we are, because by the virtue of existing by those descriptors, you're automatically you're just a vile person. The backlash is starting to come. The backlash of in the Virginia governor's election, a whole lot of that is this CRT, and people are tired of it. Parents are tired of it, and they're taking a stand. And even if you listen to a whole lot of the rational minority groups, which of course the media doesn't give any airtimes, they're even saying it's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of divisive nonsense built by Marxists and communists. And that's who the Democratic Party primarily is anymore. They're not the Democratic Party of the 1980s. There's no such thing as a blue dog Democrat. They are communist, socialist, Marxist thugs. They want to gain power by stealing from one person, one group of people, and giving to another group of people. And we've seen how that ends up. There's plenty of Soviet bloc countries we can look at to see what happens when that takes place. We can look at Cuba. It's all over the place. So it's time for the Republicans to take a stand and stop being apologetic for who they are. And I think this is starting to take hold. I think people are finally tuning out the white noise that the Democrats play over all their various media sources, and they're starting to come to terms with the fact that the Democratic Party, the Communist Party, and the media that perpetuates their nonsense are not friendly to them. They're not friendly to the American dream. They're not friendly to the common man. It's about power, and it's about having people be subservient to you. So, with that said, I just wanted to get a video out there. I was busy doing some Western America things. Took my kids out, did some deer hunting last week, so I wasn't able to get a video out as I wanted to. Just kind of put this one together last second. Pretty quick, I will be released from jail, and I'll be able to do a lot more stuff, and I've got some exciting things coming. The channel's growing, the Facebook page is growing, and I want to keep going, and there's a lot of things to smile about if you're a conservative today. So keep your head up and keep fighting the good fight.